Hey everybody, I'm just going to take a little bit to go through the syllabus this morning since we don't have a formal class period to do that. So welcome to Accounting Systems. I'm Dustin Olson. If you haven't had me before, here's my contact information to get hold of me. So call me, text me, email me, whatever you got to do to get any questions answered that you need throughout the semester. So generally I'm here 8 to 4 during the week. I'll have my office hours posted on Blackboard. Give me a holler, like I said, shoot me an email, whatever you got to do to get a hold of me for your questions. Everything in this class, all the due dates will be based on Central Time. Keep that in mind wherever you are. So our course description, we're a review of your previous accounting courses. So a review of the accounting cycle that you would have learned back in those courses. We're going to complete manual practice sets, and then we're going to move on to computer practice sets using QuickBooks. We'll get a review of internal control from Accounting 1 and being able to do financial reports. So the purpose of this course, guess what? Accounting is important even if you don't want to be an accountant. So because of that, we're going to put emphasis on making sure we learn what we should have learned in Accounting 1 and 2 and being able to apply it. So this is very much an application course. Can we do accounting? First by hand, then in the computer. So we're going to get examples of documents, business documents you're actually going to have and fill out and then do the accounting for. And then we'll get you up and running on QuickBooks, which I can teach anybody to use QuickBooks, and which I would recommend that any small business use. So it's very possible you don't have any plans of being an accountant, but when you end up in the work world, they may ask you to use QuickBooks in that first job, or you may start your own company someday. And now you can hit the ground running with the basic stuff that you need to know to be able to use QuickBooks, and you don't have to hire somebody to do that for you. So like I said, our objectives will include the things I just talked about, reviewing the accounting cycle, being able to account for various documents. We're going to understand how much better it is to have the computerized system compared to the manual one, and we'll be able to do within QuickBooks all kinds of transactions. We'll be able to do reports. We'll be able to start our company from scratch within the accounting software. So our student learning outcomes, you can find all that information within the LMS. We're still in a planning year, so this won't be official assessment, but essentially you guys will be doing the same things as we've done in the past, in which I'm going to put more emphasis on the more difficult transactions that we have in QuickBooks. When we're going through the videos in those, pay attention when I put emphasis on things. I say remember them, this is more complicated. I'm going to give you a little tip and a little heads up in those things that you're going to have to put a little more focus on those areas. So our required materials would be the System Understanding Aid packet, the manual practice set, and then Computerized Accounting QuickBooks 2018. So make sure you've got a new copy of both of those. We need to have a blank practice set to be completing. And then the QuickBooks is going to come up with a code for the QuickBooks software. And those software is only for a small amount of time. So you can't have a used one, then that code is gone. It's already expired. The QuickBooks software is going to be designed for Windows. So make sure you're putting this on a Windows PC, preferably a laptop, so that you can take it to your proctor later on in the semester when we get to taking QuickBooks exams. If you have an Apple, a Mac computer, you need to be able to run, you can still run it on there, but you got to be able to run a Windows environment that's too techy for me, so I don't know necessarily how to do it, but I know I've had students in the past do it. You may need to talk to our IT help desk or do some good YouTubing or Google searching to be able to carry that out. And if that's the case, you should probably start working on that now to make sure you're got it up and running by the time we get to QuickBooks here in a handful of weeks. So what we're going to do, we've got the Systems Understanding Aid packet. That'll be the first one. We'll go through that, and we'll be recording documents, filling out documents, filing documents, and you're going to do everything in the little packet. I'll provide helps within Blackboard to help you get through it, and it'll be okay. After that, once we get to QuickBooks, we'll have weekly questions, things you got to complete within the QuickBooks software, and we'll get into more detail on that once we get to that part of the course. Every so often, we'll have little review quizzes, or we'll have little exams where you prove basically you can do what we've been covering. So our assignments, you'll be going into QuickBooks into sample company files that I've created and complete accounting transactions, and then your tests are going to be exactly like that. Just prove to me you can do the basic transactions that we've covered in QuickBooks. Being an online class, occasionally we'll have discussion forums so we can get that classroom aspect that we're missing out on. Make sure you have proper netiquette when you're going through that. You respond as requested. I'll want you to do an initial post by Wednesday and then a follow-up on one of your classmates' posts by the end of the week. And just do what you need to do there and all will be well. Technology stuff, this is all going to be in Blackboard. So go play around and practice using Blackboard. If this is your first experience with that, this is going to be my first experience in Blackboard. So we kind of learn through that together. As we talked about before, we're going to get into QuickBooks. You have the ability to download Skype for Business, and we can, have a little chat session on there to help you with any issues in class. And then also, of course, as you're watching now, integrity for the videos that I'll make. So we want you to keep up with everything on a weekly basis, whether it be the first part, follow through with the reading and the PowerPoints. When we get to QuickBooks, follow through with the tutorials and then the assignments. Basically do everything on time. If I send you an email, it's going to be to your Mayville State email account, so please be checking that regularly. If you send an email to me, I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Exception if that's over the weekend. I may not be on my email over the weekend. I'll do my best, but life may be busy. So please try to take a look at assignments earlier in the week. Get feedback and help on that. I'm here to help you. You just got to let me know and give me some leeway on that. Before Sunday night between 10 and midnight is a little late. So here's an assumption of what we're going to have for points in the neighborhood of 450 between our practice set, our quizzes, our forums, our QuickBooks assignments, etc. You can see that the practice set's worth 100 points. Basically 23% of your grade. So if we have issues with that here, that's going to make the rest of the class very difficult to dig out of the hole. So at the very least, you got to complete the practice set. And I will help. I will bend over backwards to get you through that process. You just got to put in the time on your end and ask questions where necessary. Straight 90, 80, 70, 60 for a grading scale. Enrollment verification, make sure you go into Blackboard and do the Systems Understanding Aid instructions quiz this week. You will need proctors for our QuickBooks exams when we get to that part of the class, so go in and do the whole submit a proctor thing. Please get that done as soon as you can so we don't have any issues and you have plenty of time to take your exam once we get to that part. If you have issues, shoot me an email and I'll do my best to help you. If I can't, you're going to have to talk to the maker of QuickBooks into it, or you're going to have to talk to our instructional technology department or our IT help desk. And you can find all the important student information within Blackboard. And here's a guesstimate for timing and how things are going to work over the semester. So we'll go through the practice set for the next handful of weeks. After that, we'll get into and we'll try and get through the entire textbook. So, like I emphasize here, please don't be afraid to ask for help, especially on this Systems Understanding Aid packet. So that's the syllabus. Oh, and I forgot there's also there's going to be an introductory forum this week. So I want you to just go in and do a short introduction to yourself, kind of have everybody other class. And the other thing that I wanted to show you here was to just pull up Blackboard. And see basically how I'm going to design everything in this class is under this week section here on the left side of the screen. So you click on weeks, and then I'll have the folders for each week and the items that we're going to be covering. So for instance, I'll have a little narrative telling you what we're going to be doing, and then we'll have whatever files we're going to be using for that week. The little quiz we're going to do this week, the little forum that we're going to do, etc. And then as we get into the Systems Understanding Aid packet, I'm going to have the PowerPoints that we're going to be using. I'll give you, that essentially give you guidance on how to carry out the individual transactions. At the very least, point you in the right direction of what you need to do. And I'll give you a little more hand-holding earlier in the course and less as you're doing things for the second and third time that we've already carried out. So you're not left in the woods by yourself. If you've purchased the packet, you've got it sitting in front of you going, oh my goodness, what is all this? It's going to be okay. Step by step, I'll take you through it. If we just handle everything one transaction at a time, life will be fine. And we'll go through this format each individual week. So just hold off on that part for now. I'm getting that stuff put in here right now. I just got the first week up to date, and I'll get all the updated PowerPoints and documents in there here for our next month here in the next couple days. So that's basically a quick setup to, like I said, and I'll be through. Enjoy the rest of your day.